They say records are made to be broken, and that's probably true, but some records are harder to break than others, especially in the Olympics. Today, let's count down some Olympic records that are going to be awfully tough to break. Let's go. Number 8, Kim Yoon-mi, the youngest Olympic gold medalist. What were you doing when you were 13 years old? I won't speak for you, but I sure wasn't winning Olympic gold medals. That's exactly what Kim Yoon-mi was up to in Norway in 1994. By winning gold in speed skating, specifically the 3000m relay, she became the youngest Olympic gold medalist at the tender age of 13 years and 85 days old. She broke a record that had been held by US diver Marjorie Gestring since the 1936 Olympics in Berlin, and because she felt like it, she won gold again in the same event 4 years later at the Nagano Olympics of 1998. While there were other young competitors at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, including 13-year-olds and even a 12-year-old, Kim Yoon-mi's record remains incredibly tough to beat. Number 7, Michael Phelps. 23 gold medals, it's absolutely insane. Michael Phelps also holds the record for the most total Olympic medals in history with 28, which is unbreakable. But he goes on this list today for his gold medals. He won 23 gold medals throughout his career. That's wild. Do you know how many gold medals the people in second place have? It's a 4-way tie with 9 gold medals. 9. Michael Phelps has 23. To put it another way, Michael Phelps has more gold medals at the Summer Olympics than the entire nations of Argentina, Austria, Ireland, Slovakia, Egypt, Portugal, or Morocco. Plus, God knows how many more. I can't imagine this ever happening again. Phelps was a beast. Number 6, China and table tennis. As of the time of recording this video, just before the 2024 Olympics in Paris, China has won 60 total medals in table tennis since the sport was first introduced in 1988. That's 60 out of a total of 115 medals handed out, meaning China has won more than half of all the medals in the sport's Olympic history. Who is in second place in table tennis medals? That would be South Korea with 18, less than a third of China's total, and then it falls way off to third place, which is Germany with 9. But it gets nuttier because China has won 32 of the 37 total gold medals in table tennis, or more than 86% of all the gold medals ever in table tennis. There is no other sport that is so dominated by a single country, so unless they reintroduce women's softball to the Olympics, this record of dominance will never be touched. Number 5, Nadia Comaneci's perfect 10s. Okay, this is a bit of a sneaky one, I'll admit. By definition, you can't beat a perfect 10 in gymnastics. That's why it's called a perfect 10. It's perfect. You can't do better. Or can you? Hang on, we'll come back to that. I have put Nadia Comaneci on the list today because she was the first to do it, famously at the 1976 Olympics in Montreal. But it's worth mentioning that many women, and indeed many men, have achieved perfect scores in gymnastics events, so it's not the rarest thing in the world. Heck, Nelly Kim of the Soviet Union also got perfect scores at the same Olympic Games. So why did I earlier imply that this could potentially be beaten? Well, because a new scoring system was introduced in 2006 after some controversy at the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens. Now, you can get a score greater than 10 in total, even though that score greater than 10 isn't necessarily a perfect score. Are you confused? Well, yeah, so are the gymnasts, including Mary Lou Retton, who famously said, "It's hard to understand. I don't even understand it." Same, Mary Lou, same. Number 4, Oscar Swan, the oldest Olympic gold medalist. We already covered the youngest gold medalist in Olympic history, so it's time now to talk about the oldest gold medalist. And oh boy, is this a doozy. It's time to talk about Oscar Swan. He was a Swedish Olympian, specifically in the shooting events. The dude could shoot, there's no question about it. At the 1908 Olympics in London, he won 2 gold medals and a bronze to boot in shooting. And at the time, he was just a youthful 60 years old. But his claim to gold medal fame came at the 1912 Olympics in his native Stockholm. Competing on his home turf, he won gold in the team's single-shot deer running event at the age of 64 years and 258 days old. And as if that wasn't enough, in 1920, at the age of 72, he also became the oldest athlete to ever compete in the Olympics, as well as the oldest athlete to ever win a medal, winning a silver. He won a silver medal at 72 years old. That's wild. Note that this does not include the art competitions. Yes, there were art competitions at the Olympics, but even the Olympics themselves don't count those as true medal events anymore. So Oscar Swan takes the geriatric cake on this one. Number 3, the USA's 231 231 medal haul at the 1904 Olympics. The 1904 Olympics in St. Louis were the wildest in Olympic history, and that's seriously saying something because there have been some ridiculous games in the past. One of the most ludicrous aspects of these Olympics was the 231 medals won by the USA, which established a record for most medals at a single Olympics by a single country that has never been beaten. There is a very easy and simple explanation for this impossibly high medal count. The Americans were pretty much the only athletes to compete in these Olympics, due to the difficulty of traveling at the time and the fact that the Olympics just didn't mean that much back then. Lots of athletes, and indeed entire nations, just decided not to make the trip, leaving the USA with easy sweeps of the podium. So how crazy was the medal haul? Well, the USA got 231 medals. Take a guess how many the second place country got. That would be Germany with 15. 15 medals. That's it. It would be impossible for this record to be broken. Number 2, Jackie Joyner-Kersee in the women's heptathlon. The heptathlon is not the most well-known or closely watched Olympic sport, that's for sure. And honestly, that's kind of a shame because this is a fun one to watch. With those 7 events, they test the full athleticism of an individual. You've got to be a serious beast to do well here. And Jackie Joyner-Kersee of the USA sure knew how to do well. At the 1988 Olympics, she set a women's heptathlon world record of 7,291 points. The second best score of all time is 7,032 by Carolina Klüft of Sweden, which sounds close but is actually miles behind. Only 4 women in history have even gotten over 7,000 points, so no one is really within breathing distance of this record. And you know what makes it even more impressive? 5 days after setting this world record, Jackie Joyner-Kersee set an Olympic record when winning the women's long jump with a leap of 7.40 m, which was so good that it's still the Olympic record to this day. Number 1, Dimitrios Lundros, the youngest Olympic medalist, the youngest person to ever win an Olympic medal. At the 1896 Olympics in Athens, the first modern Olympic Games, he won a bronze medal as a member of the Greek team competing in the parallel bars. At the time of his bronze medal, he was 10 years and 218 days old. Yes, he was 10. While there is no official age limit for competing in the Olympic Games, it is awfully difficult to see this record ever being broken. There have been plenty of 12 and 13-year-olds competing in the Olympics, but to find a 10-year-old good enough to win a medal in some event seems just too much for me to believe. The 1896 Athens Games were the only Olympics of his career, too. After this, he joined the Greek Navy and served in both world wars, eventually retiring in 1945 with the rank of Vice Admiral. Impressive! He was also a member of the Greek Olympic Committee from 1924 onwards, and when he passed away in 1970 at the age of 84, he was the last surviving participant from the inaugural modern Olympics. If anyone was going to be the last surviving member, it makes sense that it was the guy who was 10 at the time. Well, that's it for today's video. Which is your favorite Olympic game? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video.